Welcome back to Origami Snowman. My name's Matt. It has been a couple days since I posted a video. It has been kind of hectic, a little bit busy. We had Easter weekend and spring break is going on, and yesterday was April Fool's Day. And so I was busy with that. We celebrate here at my house, or at least we did this year. I'm not a big fan of pranks. It's just not like, I just don't know. I don't know, it make me anxious. And so often people forget that the point of a prank is to make a person feel loved and appreciated, like good-natured kind of thing. And too often the prank ends up being like, ha, 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 you're not one of us, and we want you to know. And this reminder is meant to hurt you while it amuses us. I don't like that. That's just not fun. Maybe because I was on the receiving end of far too many hurtful pranks throughout my life. But we'd usually just sort of let it go by. However, Silverblood, about 6 weeks ago or so, had an idea that she was very excited about. It was real simple. She said, what if we got a bunch of googly eyes and just put them all over the place? Very harmless, very simple, and it turns out pretty cheap. I looked up on Amazon, and turns out you can get 1,000 googly eyes for about $8. You can get 2,000 for $2 more. So we did that. So we bought 2,000 googly eyes and spent way too much time yesterday putting them on everything. And my wife is still finding them all over the house. And she not her favorite thing, but she understands that it was done out of love, and so she is treating it as an act of love. Because her only other option, I think, if I enunciate correctly. Whoops. Let me make a quick change. There we go. I had to update some settings. Anyway, her only other option, other than, well, let me start the whole sentence over. I don't remember what the sentence was, but her only other option is to be irritated by it, but also still keep finding googly eyes. You guys know where I was going with that. It was going to be a nice, real thoughtful sentence, and then I dumbed it up with my brain. So yeah, we still have, I don't know, maybe 1,800 googly eyes. I don't know. Regular Timmy took some with him to work, so he's going to irritate some people there, and I'll probably take some with me to work. I got to go in later today, and I know it's spring break and all, but we have a new driver from another district coming in, and so I kind of got to get him squared away and help him with his new route and all sorts of fun stuff. That's always a fun thing. I don't have to teach him anything. He doesn't have to pass any tests. He's already ready to go. I just got to make sure that, it's funny, different districts. This is not going to be interesting to anyone at all, but I've already started talking about it, and there's no way I can turn back now. We get a lot of drivers from different districts, and it is always interesting to me to see what things other districts emphasize. We all have our little bugaboos. Some districts, they absolutely never, you do not back up under any circumstances. That means you do not ever pull into a cul-de-sac. That means you do not ever go down like a dead end. You never back up. If you miss a stop, you go around the block and come back to it. Period. Some districts, they're less critical about things like speed or student management, or they had rules about no, you only talk to the kids about bus stuff. You don't get personal. You don't ask them how their day was. That's not your job. That kind of thing. It's just, yeah. So I always find that interesting. But I also need to make sure that we're letting our new drivers know that, well, I don't know how y'all did it in the other district, but here in our district, we observe speed limits, and, you, yeah, stay between the lines on your side of the road. You know, that's how it is, that sort of thing. So that'll take a couple hours, and familiarize him with our buses. The buses they drove in his old district are different. So, just give him a little bit of time behind the wheel so he can be comfortable, so that when he starts driving next week, he doesn't have questions, or at least he has fewer questions, because he actually will be driving Silverblood's route, and I prefer it if her bus driver is safe and, confident. So that's what I get to do today. But, and, it's spring break, so there's less work to do, and that's always nice. And everyone in the office is usually in a pretty good mood, and parents aren't calling in. And it's so funny to think that, we work with kids and buses. Neither of those things are like the most aggravating part of the job. Honestly, it's the parents. Not that they're bad or mean people. It's just sometimes they either don't understand very simple things, like there's a 2-hour delay, so what time does my child get picked up? Well, if your child's regular pickup time is 7 o'clock, then a 2-hour delay means that their pickup time is now 2 hours later. And then they say, so what is that? Was it like 9:15? No, that would be a 2-hour and 15-minute delay. Things that, maybe someone, might have learned in school. So, either they're just sweet and dumb, or they flat out refuse to work with us, where we say, you have to, if you want like bus service, you have to sign up for it. We can't just instinctively know that your child wants to go to school, because if we drive by your house and you're standing out in your driveway, but you're not on our route sheet, we are not going to stop and pick you up. And you don't get to get mad at the bus driver for that, because you didn't sign up. So we didn't tell him that he had a new stop, that kind of thing. That the parents are generally the hardest part of our job. Everybody else is willing to work with us. So, anyway, we don't have any of that going on this week. It's a nice, quiet office. I forget what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. My wife and my mother-in-law and Silverblood are going to go to like a campsite kind of thing, like a hiking trails kind of site down south for 2 days. They're going to go do some hiking, and it has been very rainy, so that should be all sorts of fun for them. And then Cheeto, she is she went to the Bahamas. Anyway, she definitely had a more interesting spring break than the rest of us. So spring break, the Bahamas, a cruise, Universal. She sent me pictures from the Harry Potter thing and said how bad she felt that I wasn't there. And, I said, don't stop thinking about me. You just enjoy this very once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be somewhere really amazing and cool. So, she's been having a great time, and that's fantastic and awesome. And then regular Timmy, he's still has to work. He actually does work in the school system. He works in the same district and in the same building as his mother. We all, the three of us work for the same school district. It's kind of adorable. And then, but his department, they still have to work today, because they can get things done this week that they can't really do when the school's full of students. So, he's been pretty good natured about that. He likes his job, so he doesn't mind. Oh, there we go. So he doesn't really mind going in on a spring break when the rest of the family doesn't have to. But, so he's pretty cool. He's pretty cool about that. But yeah, so that's kind of been what we've been doing this last couple days. Sorry that there have been no videos. It's ironic that on my day off yesterday, I should have had plenty of time. Normally, I can make and upload about 3 of these videos every day, which might be too many videos. But yesterday, my day off, I was so busy that I didn't have time to make any videos. I was busy April Foolin', and I went thrifting. It's funny. I went to the three thrift stores and the library looking for books. Our library will often, pull books that don't really get a lot of use, or they haven't been checked out for a long, long time, decommissioned, I guess, and they'll allow. Oh man, that sucks. And they'll allow patrons to purchase them, either a quarter a piece or 5 for $1. And I always check those out. And I always look at them, and often we'll find something. A lot of times I'll get children's books, picture books, and use them, cut them up and laminate them and make bookmarks. And so we end up with way too many, way too many bookmarks in my house. And that's fine because we have tons of books. But let's see, did I go on Saturday? I don't remember. Might have been Saturday. I think Saturday. I think it was Saturday. I went to a bookstore and got a bunch of books. Very excited about that. And then, was it Saturday or was it Friday? I don't remember. I may have already talked about it. Who knows? And then went to, there are 3 thrift stores within about 1.25 miles of my house. There's a, I don't know the name of it. I think it's called something Treasures. I don't know. But it's like a church-run thrift store. I don't know. But they always have tons of books. And they're pretty, reasonably priced. They're the most reasonably priced of the thrift stores in my area. And then there's a Salvation Army, and then across the street from that, there's a Goodwill. Goodwill, I tell you what, they are, they say, oh, it's for charity. It's for charity. It used to be Goodwill and Salvation Army was where you went to get cheap clothes if you couldn't afford cheap clothes. And now what they're doing is saying, hey, you know what? This is where you shop so that you know that your money is going to help people in need. Which I feel like the people in need now have nowhere affordable to shop because Salvation Army and Goodwill have jacked their prices up so much. I mean, I found there's a pair of pants at Salvation Army yesterday. They weren't even particularly nice pants, but they were new. They still had the tags on them, and the price was $16. You're kidding me. That's nuts. I don't go to a thrift store to pay full price for... That's dumb. So, but, they justify it by saying, we donate a large portion of that money. Yeah, I bet you do. So, anyway, I did buy a book, a single book. And it was a copy of a book that I had once loaned to somebody, and then never saw again. So... I was basically replacing books that I wish I still had. Anyway, $2 for a paperback. That seems a little bit ridiculous, right? You guys are with me? Oh, well. But, I bought a bunch of books this weekend. Probably, 15 or so books. And then at the library, checked out 2 that I now have to read because, they have to go back. One of them is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie, which is the first book in the First Law series, which I've heard lots of. It's on a lot of lists. And then the other book is, I can't remember the name of it, but it's the first book in the King Killer Chronicles by Patrick Rothfuss. And my friend Nathan could not speak highly enough of the man. So I'm going to definitely check that out. Anyway, that brought us up to 9,050. Look at that. We just burned right through those, and I never said anything of value. I love you guys. Thanks so much for watching. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Goodbye.